I, 48 male, have a daughter, Lisa, teen, from my first marriage. I'm not on particularly good terms with her mother. We divorced 8 years ago, and Lisa unfortunately became an outlet for her resentment toward me, which ended up souring our relationship massively. Lisa's a good person, but sadly, she takes after her mom in terms of demeanor and often acts rude or entitled. A few years ago, I married again. Lisa decided not to attend my wedding, and she said a bunch of hurtful things to my then fiancée, Rosemary, 38 female. Since then, our relationship got even worse. When Rosemary and I welcomed our son a little while ago, Lisa texted me that since I have my perfect baby now, I could stop pestering her and trying to play family with her. It hurt me deeply, and I ended up distancing myself from her, though I kept sending her $100 a month as her allowance. Recently, we had an unplanned addition to our family. Long story short, Rosemary's sister, who wasn't a good parent to start with, terminated her custody rights over her son, Blake, nearly adult male. Rosemary and I decided to take Blake in. Unfortunately, a few years ago, Blake got into a horrible car wreck that left him permanently disabled. Luckily, he can walk somewhat and doesn't need 24/7 assistance around the house, but that's about it. Blake is a fantastic person who quickly became part of our family. I decided to give the $100 allowance to Blake instead. He was beyond happy and grateful. I also made a hard decision and gave him my car. It's a '22 Cadillac Escalade, and I was planning on getting rid of it this year anyway, since Lisa's turning mid-teen in a month, and I wanted to gift it to Lisa. Now it's Blake's car and he absolutely loves it. He really needed a car because his mobility issues don't let him get around easily anymore, and it changed his life massively. Of course, Lisa didn't like it. When she realized that she wasn't getting any allowance, she called me and asked what was wrong. It was the first call I received from her in a year, if not more. I explained that now when my family expanded, I didn't have enough money. I'll still be sending her mom the child support payments, as per the court agreement, but she shouldn't expect anything extra. She asked me about the car, since she knew about my plans to give her the car. I told her that now the situation changed, and I could no longer give her a car. I'll admit, what I said next was probably idiotic of me, since I told her that now I have 2 children to play family with, and asked her to stop pestering me. This caused her to blow up completely, to the point she got her mom to call me and scream at me, and so did her new husband. They threatened to sue me. Lisa said she'd go no contact, and so on. I just brushed off the threats, especially since Rosemary's a lawyer. I made my peace with poor contact with Lisa years ago. They also managed to write a few mean things to Rosemary and Blake, which got me wondering whether I was an idiot here. You are the idiot. You're the adult, and you haven't acted like it for her entire life. She was, what, a young grammar schooler when you divorced? She takes after her mom, aka, I did absolutely no parenting, and I'm shocked she acts like the parent who actually raised her. You distance yourself because the child said something mean. OMG, seriously? Will you do the same when your son does the same? 'Cause guess what? No teen has an always positive relationship with their parents. More than likely, your kid will say 1, they hate you, 2, you're ruining their life, 3, they didn't choose to be born, or something similar. So you're just gonna dip when he gets to that stage? My 4-year-old told me he hated me for the first time earlier this year when I made him wash his hands after we went to the toilet. Should I kick him out? He doesn't contribute to the bills or anything either. If every parent ditched their kid when they said something mean, self-centered, or rude, this would be a world of orphans, especially kids whose parents are going through a divorce. Also, can we just note that he says he doesn't have enough money, but can afford to give away a 2022 luxury car, and presumably replace it with another car that costs even more? Like, dude, sell the caddy and buy nice used cars for both of them, or even economy new cars. He's lying. His daughter knows he's a liar. He's not even a good liar. Whose fault was the accident that Blake was in? Oh, that's not actually important. I just want to know if you have a kid who got into a terrible accident, speeding around doing dumb teenager things in a practically brand new $80,000 car. Wow, yeah, you are the idiot, but you deserve it to be spelled out. You're the idiot. My wife, 34, and I, 34 male, have been married for 8 years, and we have a kindergarten-age son. Over the past few months, my wife and I have occasionally been having arguments on finances. The main argument we've been having is that I want to take our family out on a vacation to a different state, but my wife wants to save up so we can travel abroad next year. Last month, my wife and I were arguing again about this, and I was telling her a vacation would be really good for our family and son. We talked back and forth, and I could sense my wife was getting exasperated, but I stood my ground. I told her we could take a vacation now, and we could also go abroad next year. And my wife just lost her cool and said that the finances made that impractical, and that she also wished I was better in bed, but in life we don't always get what we want. That stung me. I'm aware I'm average, but I've never had any complaints from anyone about it until now, and hearing it from my wife just numbed me. I then checked out of the conversation, and my wife instantly apologized after she said that. I told her it was okay, and then I went to sleep. However, from the next day on, I distanced myself from my wife and focused on work and my son. My wife tried to initiate conversation and apologize multiple times, and I usually ignored her or told her to let it go. I also started eating out as I didn't want to eat my wife's dinner. My wife initiated intimacy one night, and I told her to get off me. My birthday was a few days ago, and I ignored my wife when she wished me or when she tried to kiss me. We didn't do anything for my birthday, and when my wife gave me a gift that was packaged and also a handwritten letter, I told her to return it. I have no idea what the gift was or what was written in the letter, and I don't really care. I'm at my limit now, and I know this is not healthy or sustainable, so I've seriously started considering divorce. But I also wanted to get an opinion from the people I trusted most in the world, my 2 siblings. My brother thinks I should at least consider marriage counseling first before proceeding with divorce, as he doesn't think this is worth just jumping straight to divorce for. My sister has the opposite opinion, and she thinks I'm still young and fit and have a long life ahead of me, and it should be very easy for me to get someone who's much more beautiful than my wife, both on the exterior and the interior. Am I the idiot for checking out on my relationship and considering divorce? Dude, the comment itself is an idiot move, but in my opinion, the bigger problem is that she said it in anger, which means she intended it as a weapon to hurt you. Anyone who could do that isn't someone you can feel safe being vulnerable around. If you want to try to stay, then marriage counseling is mandatory, as is individual counseling for her to figure out why her mind even went there in the first place. Any refusal from her on that should be an immediate game over. That said, nothing in your post indicates that you do want to stay, just that you think maybe you should. If you don't really want to stay with her, don't. Thank you for pointing this out. Words can't be taken back once said out loud. People always need to remember that, even in the most heated argument. Also, you don't say things you never thought about before. They don't really pop out of nowhere in a completely unrelated fight. The tree remembers what the axe forgets. Am I taking crazy pills? You all think someone saying something hurtful in anger once is worth getting divorced over? You all have some of the most fragile egos I've ever seen. It was an ugly thing to do. She was angry and she went straight for the jugular. If that's all that happened, I'd feel bad for the guy, but then instead of telling his wife how he feels about it, he shuts down completely and pouts about it for days. What a baby. I'm sorry that your wife hurt your feelings one time. That sucks, but it's not worth dissolving your relationship over. Use your words like a big boy and tell her how you feel. Geez. My parents took out credit cards and loans in my name. It was fine when they were paying the bills, but they got behind. I don't have a key to the mailbox, so I never saw the bills or anything. I just finished my 3rd year of university and I was going to move out. That would require me to get a credit check. My parents freaked out and forbade me from moving out. They said it was stupid to waste money on moving out when I could save money living at home. They don't like my boyfriend, so I thought that was their issue. But no, I was wrong. Long story short, I'm about $60,000 in debt because of them. I cannot afford to pay that off. I told them they needed to clear the debt immediately and change the house rules so my boyfriend could spend the night. They said that they didn't have the money to pay the debt and that I couldn't strong-arm them into changing the rules of their house. I called my auntie and asked her if I could please come stay with her for a bit. She let me come and asked a lot of questions. Then she showed me a dozen stories about parents screwing up their kids' future and kids allowing it. I went to the police and reported it. My parents got arrested and charged. They're furious with me. I know they didn't spend the money on me. I don't know what they did spend it on, and I don't care. I feel bad for them, but I'm not letting them mess up my future. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It was fine when they were paying the bills. No, it wasn't. It is identity fraud and illegal. Put a freeze on your credit and monitor your reports from now on. Tell them you're furious with them as well. OP, they have no right to be angry with you. They committed fraud and then tried to stop you from finding out. They have damaged your future job prospects, so you had to do something to repair it. Going to the police is the first step. They're disgusting. They should be apologizing and begging for your forgiveness. I'm glad your aunt is on your side. Unfortunately, the type of parent willing to commit identity fraud to get more credit cards has a strong correlation with narcissistic or abusive parents who will con or pressure their kids into shouldering their CC debt they caused because it's too darn high. The American debt industry is extremely predatory and happy to take advantage of America's notoriously poor financial literacy. Prosecute them to the fullest extent possible. Your parents are supposed to care for you and protect you, not screw you over and do illegal crap on you. I won't go into my kids and their cousins' achievements. They are many and impressive. I've supported all their interests with time and money. I made a fair bit of money a long time ago, and I retired at a very young age. I tried being a trust fund idiot, but I wasn't cut out for it. I worked hard to get my money, but I wasn't raised wealthy. I was just very lucky during the dot-com boom. I have 3 children, 3 nephews and 1 niece. I'm doing my best not to brag about them, but I will say this. They took my money and time and used it to make amazing things happen for them. I celebrate their achievements, both scholastic and athletic. I throw parties for them and give them great presents. My son is jealous because I do not have parties to celebrate his achievements. He's a great kid and quite smart. He isn't a natural athlete, but neither am I by any stretch of the imagination. He does well in school, but I know that I'll be paying out of pocket for him to attend whatever school he gets into. I also host parties for him and his friends. I just don't celebrate him as much. He had complained about this. So last week, I asked him what achievement he wanted to celebrate. Believe it or not, his answer was that he maxed out his fishing stat in Final Fantasy XIV. I know all those words. I even know that game. What I do not get is how a teen kid thinks that that's on the same level as getting scouted for a Division I athletic scholarship. I said that he could have a party, but that I wasn't sending out invites with that as the reason. He's upset, and my wife thinks I'm being judgmental, which I am. I am judging him and wondering where the heck I went wrong. Edit. Yes, he is on the spectrum. No, I don't think that's worth celebrating. No, I cannot bring myself to celebrate that. But he wanted me to have a celebration because he had unlocked an achievement in a video game. He's jealous that I threw a party for his sister to get a volleyball scholarship. I might be the idiot for not understanding what a monumental achievement it is to catch virtual fish in a video game. Not the idiot, but I am concerned that your kid can't think of anything else of value he's done besides gaming. It also seems like your standards are a bit high, and maybe he's given up, so he can't fail you. Is he in therapy already? Or is he working with a coach to develop better coping mechanisms than making his game his whole life? Kids on the spectrum need structure. These games are designed to hold their attention and dilute the same dopamine returns that regular day-to-day accomplishments give them. The kid cannot think of any achievements because his father doesn't celebrate any of them. The boy's on the spectrum. With that comes the understanding that his achievements will look different from others. If he were nonverbal, speaking in a full sentence is cause for celebration, for example. It is not something you would celebrate for an NT kid, but accomplishing something that's a challenge for you is worth celebrating. You are the idiot, OP. His achievements look different from the rest of the kids because he's on the spectrum. Posts like this really make me wonder if some internet strangers are cut out to be parents. You're so dismissive of your son. Stop comparing your child to your niece and nephews because every kid is different and unique in their own way. Would you seriously put on an invitation that your kid maxed out fishing on a video game and expect people to come and celebrate in the same way they celebrate a scholarship to a top-tier university? If that's his answer to the question of his achievements, then there might not be much to celebrate. Also, I'm on the spectrum and I have severe ADHD, so I get it. But that doesn't change how the world should reward you. You are held to the same standards, and he needs to learn that now. My husband and I have a preschool-age daughter, Ellie. Ellie has a best friend, Andrew, the same age, from her daycare. She asked him to marry her at least once a week, and they ended up getting married at daycare a few weeks ago. Andrew even made her a little ring. Teachers sent pics of their little wedding. It was adorable. We had Andrew over for a play date on Saturday. This was the first time Andrew's been to our house. The second Andrew saw our dog, he completely ignored Ellie for the rest of the play date. He only wanted to play and cuddle with the dog. Ellie was heartbroken and told Andrew they weren't married anymore. They were both pretty upset, so we ended the play date a little early. Now for the past 2 days, whenever Andrew tries to play with Ellie, or even talks to her, she says, "You're not my boyfriend anymore," and walks away. This upset Andrew, so her teachers asked us to talk to her about being nicer to Andrew and to remind her that they were best friends. I told her she doesn't have to play with Andrew if she doesn't want to, but she has to use kind words, and she should tell him that he hurt her feelings when he came over. My husband thinks I handled it wrong and that we should tell her to play with Andrew again and get over the play date. I think she'll get over it eventually, but I don't want to force her to play with anyone. And if she doesn't want to be pretend married anymore, she doesn't have to be married to him. We just can't seem to agree on whether we should tell her to play with him or let her get over it on her own. Am I the idiot for letting her divorce Andrew and not making her play with him? Your preschooler broke up with him better than some adults manage. He had an emotional affair with her dog. There's no coming back from that. Definitely don't force her to play with someone she doesn't want to. It's important that children understand that they can set their own boundaries. Maybe she was a little young to be getting married. My daughter waited until she was 8. That meant her friend had to draw up official divorce papers when they split. In all seriousness, as a society, we need to stop forcing little girls to coddle their boy peers. He hurt her feelings. She has every right to draw boundaries. End of story. She doesn't need to be nicer. She has expressed her feelings. Adults shouldn't be telling her, well, maybe you feel hurt, but it doesn't matter because you were best friends. Forcing little girls to play with little boys tells them that they must make the boys, and later men, happy, and that their feelings and desires do not matter. Tell it to your husband like this.